Okay, hi everybody. I know it's been a long time since I did an update. I just finally had a chance to work on the cab a little bit today, so I basically all I did was get it bolted down to the running boards, but that's a start, something I've been meaning to do for a long time. It wasn't that hard to do. It was a lot of fun actually, and I'm glad to get back at it a little bit. I guess the next thing I'll do is work on the put the hinges in place for the little doors. Those little dollhouse hinges that I talked about before. I also need to make a bell that will get mounted up here. I've got the Allen, beautiful little bronze Allen bell, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So all I did was I carefully clamped the cab into place. I removed the roof part first that I've talked so much about. You can see where it bolts on, and carefully mounted the cab in place. I used some woodworking clamps to hold it in place, one of those on either side. Got it set just where I wanted it. Then I used this spring-loaded center punch to mark the holes where I was going to drill the holes. I used a 760. I was using 540 screws, so I used a 7/64 drill bit in one of these long extensions. These things are quite handy. There's been a couple of projects on the locomotive that I've used this drill extension for, and it's an Irwin that I got at Lowe's, and I really like it. Very nice piece of gear. Very happy about it. So I drilled the holes, then I removed the cab, and I've drilled the holes in the bottom of the cab. I'll show you in a second. I drilled those oversized, 1/8 inch, so they're clearance holes on the little 540 bolts. And I used a tap. Because of the close proximity of the holes are basically where you see the little red lines on the outside. Because of the close proximity of the boiler, I had to use a sliding T-handle tap handle when I tapped the holes. And I just used standard round head screws and a very long straight blade screwdriver there. Used a little scriber that has a magnetic tip on it to put the screws in place. Here, I'll climb up on the cab and show you what it looks like. This is kind of a neat view, the engineer's type view. A little light here, and you can see where the little screws are. Ooh, it's awfully bright, isn't it? Coming over here, there you go. You can see them in the corners. So basically 4 on either side, just 540 round head ordinary screws, and it's solidly held in place. So the next step will be using the hinges on the little doors. We'll get that in making some sort of a prop assembly. I think I'm going to go simple with the prop assembly, because when you're here, you're wanting to access the controls, see it, the row of the rear steam bar, see the gauge, all that stuff. You don't want anything right in the middle here that's going to be blocking the way, so I'm thinking a prop bar to prop up the lid on the left side. The left side this is my cylinder cocks, the mechanical linkage for that, and I had planned to put brake controls over on this side. So that's tonight's update. If you can hang tight for a second and forgive a little erratic camera work, I'll show you the view of here's the roof, cab roof upside down. You can see that's awfully bright. You can see the rotating assembly that I used for screwing the rotating bar, the pivot hinges to the cab. There we go. And there's just a little brass pin that it pivots on. That's all just aluminum blocks. So there we have it. It's a nice update. Thanks for watching. I'll keep y'all posted.